welcome to Glitch Please, the show where we talk all about video games. We got a lot to talk about today. I'm Brian, your host.
I'm Jen.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Cricket.
Who are you?
Cricket, welcome.
Hi, hello. I'm the community manager for Rooster Teeth Games. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. So this is it's a year-end episode where you're going to talk about our games of the year, and it has been a great year. So I have several. I think I have one at the top, but I have a lot I want to talk about. So what should we do? Should we go around and everybody start off?
Sure.
I'm trying not to make direct eye contact.
The
Nick,
last person who did lost his life.
Not hinting, Nick. What would you like?
My game of the year.
Yes.
One game or how many?
You can do multiple. It's fine.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say it was, for me, Marvel's Spider-Man Brothers Ultimate. That was Super Smash Brothers and Spider-Man combined into one.
I was like, was there DLC I didn't know about?
No, it was just a really bad joke that no one laughed at.
As long as we're all on the same page there.
This is your way of saying you had co-number ones.
Yes, because
That's high praise of Spider-Man from you because you're a huge Smash person.
I love Smash Bros.
Yep.
I love Smash Bros. But I also love, just as much as I love like a good fighting game
Yep.
that I can really get into, I also love open world.
Okay.
But absolutely adore open world games, especially in a game like Spider-Man, where just moving around is as fun as it is. Because I'm one of those people who played Spider-Man 2 on GameCube back in the day, and that was addictive as all get out for me. Just
Was that the one with the best web slinging, or the one that everyone talked about?
It's the one everyone talks about. Yeah. I played that game. Gosh, I remember it was New Year's Eve from like 2003 rolling into 2004 or something like that, and I was playing Spider-Man. I remember, pausing it to change the channel and go watch the New York City.
The ball drop.
Yeah. And then fast forward a whole year later, and I was doing the exact same thing, and that's when I realized, wow, I think I have a problem with this game.
What was it about this version of Spider-Man that really did it for you?
They nailed the web slinging.
Yep.
That's one of the big things for me. Like that's the most important thing.
Yes.
For me. Because that's what made me play the Spider-Man 2 game for a year straight. But on top of that, it has so much polish and a lot of really fun unlockables and a cool story mode, great voice acting. Like it's got a really great fundamental base of the traversal, and then everything else on top of it is just like a whole nother layer of goodness. Like the combat it's a rip-off of Batman Arkham,
right?
But that works to its benefit. And the stealth segments and stuff are also straight out of Arkham, but it all works to better the game.
With the Spider-Man layer over it, but you use web slinging for everything.
And it's awesome. I 100% completed this game, and I only do that with games that I really, really, truly enjoy.
It's funny because I played Arkham City. I beat it. I feel like I never fully got the combat. Like I still felt like on some level I was button mashing. I don't feel that way about Spider-Man. I feel like more comfortable with it.
I think the Batman Arkham games are still a little bit better just because they have button shortcuts for all your gadgets to use mid-combo, and that's great. In Spider-Man, you gotta like bring up the weapon wheel, and that kind of like pauses everything and interrupts the flow a little bit.
Right.
Small gripe. You can't even really call it a gripe because it's such a wonderful game, and even though I 100% completed, I still went back and played through it in New Game Plus.
All the way?
And not all the way. Smash Brothers, my other game of the year, came along.
Nice. Here we go. Nice segue.
Thank you. That's the game I've been looking forward to this whole year more than any other, even more so than Spider-Man, which is really high praise, I think.
You're a hardcore Smash player.
I love Smash Brothers.
Where does this one rank? Like, is this the best? Some people have called this the best Smash game ever. Do you, now that you've had some time with it, how do you feel like it ranks?
We're still just a couple weeks into its lifespan, so there is still some stuff that I'm trying to get used to. Like I mentioned, the way the game buffers your inputs. That still kind of throws me for a loop because I'm having to undo like 18, 19 years of muscle memory from all the other games of not having to deal with that. And there's a couple of small little things here and there that if they're not negatives, they're at the very least things that I'm going to have to work hard to get used to just because they're different. But I mean, Brian, this game. This game is good. This game this is really fun. I'm having a blast.
The way you said that sold me.
Have you unlocked everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Unlocked everyone. I'm just trying to get into Elite Smash right now. At the moment, you guys know
what's Elite Smash? No.
Elite Smash is it's your ranked mode, but it's there for like the top X% of people who play such and such character. It's a character by character basis.
For pros only.
Pros only. I mean, take it for how you will, but it's based on your GSP, your global smash power.
Nice.
Which is leveled up by anything and everything, basically, including single player.
Okay.
So it's not it's not the ranking system that like the competitive crowd was looking for exactly, but if you get into Elite Smash, that's the subsect of players that Nintendo intends to base future balance updates on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Whoa, as I almost knocked
They're
over
going to be
my
sort of the guinea pigs.
Sort of, yeah. So I'm just trying to get into there just to say I'm in it.
Right, right.
Your global smash power, there's no one number that it has to be at because as more and more people get the game, the higher that number needs to be. I'm at like 1.5 million points with Greninja right now.
Okay.
Or something like that, and I don't know how much higher I need to go. I think I'm almost there.
Yeah.
But that's my goal right now, get into Elite Smash.
It's this Smash has seemed more accessible. I don't know, but because I'm not like a huge Smash person, but I've just had so much fun with it, just playing with like friends and family.
Well,
even if you don't know what you're doing, it's still immediately accessible and like, okay, I know what I need to do here.
Yeah, well, more so than any other game, I think this is everyone's Smash. Like it really lives up to the ultimate name.
That is what it feels like.
There's a character for everyone.
There's a character for everyone. Because there's every character that's ever been.
Because they threw all of them.
Like they brought back almost every stage, and you can play them with the hazards off, which is a feature people have been wanting for the longest time, and I love that because I like stage variety, but I also like to keep the chaos dialed back when I can. When I'm playing in group matches and stuff like that, then it's just kind of whatever.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
But I love having more tournament viable stages.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love all the music. Just all the care that Sakurai puts into every game. It's evident as
there was a lot of polish in this game, and almost just an incomprehensible number of features and just settings. The way, the way you can tailor your games, it's great.
Yeah, Squad Strike is a really, really cool mode where every stock you come back as a different character.
Nice.
That's a really great feature. The Stage Morph is something that like
that is crazy, and
that's a feature that like I think maybe a week before they revealed it, I didn't even remember this, but my coworker Ben was like, just a week ago, you said that you wanted this exact feature in this game, and now it's here.
Boom.
So I guess I did. Sakurai thought of everything.
Your uncle works at Nintendo. You gotta line in.
I wish Sakurai could be my uncle.
That'd be awesome. All right, Cricket. How about you? I
wanted to actually piggyback off of Spider-Man. I only got to play like 45 minutes of it, but this is a game that I watched obsessively streamers play. I watched so many people. I would wait. I was part of this Discord group where we would send out an alert every time someone was right at the end of the story, and no spoilers here, but I lived off of tears for like two and a half weeks.
Wow.
I loved it so much.
Tell us about it. Like, what is?
So the ending?
Just the game.
The gameplay. I think, as Nick pointed out, if you played some of the early 2000s Spider-Mans, the controls felt very, very intuitive. It was virtually the same. They really emulated a lot of the, I think, best points from that. The fight sequences were absolutely incredible. The different suits were amazing. I really liked the Noir suit. I think the Stark Industries suit was really, really, really cool. What were your favorite suits? I wanted to ask you.
Oh, the cel-shaded one.
Yeah. Oh, that one was so cool.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, I
the
liked
cartoony one.
Yeah.
And then being able to switch your abilities on the fly, I think, was really, really smart.
Yeah, because the powers are not tied to the suits.
Right.
Like you unlock a suit and a suit power at the same time. Then you can put that suit power on anything.
anything.
I love that.
Yeah, they let you play it the way you want. They don't force you into doing it the way they wanted.
Yeah, because right now I'm using that negative power suit, the power, but I don't really like the negative suit, so I'm doing the black and yellow one because that looks, I don't know, I just like it. And yeah, it's nice to mix and match and do whatever you want in it.
That's the best suit in the game right there.
That
the Class C.
is crazy. The like 60s Spider-Man. Yep. Jen, how about you?
I would say probably my top 2 games of the year. I know last time I already talked a lot about Detroit Become Human.
Yep.
That's definitely up there. And I would say my other favorite from the year is Celeste. I'm a sucker for a good soundtrack.
Oh my God, this game has the best.
It's
I was
such a-
listening to it this morning.
I'm one of those people that you could hand me a mediocre game with a great soundtrack and I will play it through to the end just because I'm just so into the music. I connect really well and really easily with music. And Celeste had a great game and a good story and an interesting way of delivering that story with that soundtrack and all of those things together. It's like, there's a reason I put up with dying 8,742 times because I just loved that experience.
And this is a very, very punishing game.
Oh,
where
yes.
You're gonna die just repeatedly to figure out the levels and what you need to do.
Exactly, there's a lot of trial and error. And it's also, it's punishing, but I kept wanting to do it.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't get to a point where I was like, this is stupid, I'm done with this. And
How is it on checkpoints?
it's pretty good on checkpoints. So like every screen, like every challenge is a screen, and so you would be like, cool, you would start back at the beginning of the screen. So there were a couple that were, I think, longer than they should have been, and there should have been like a breakup point kind of in the middle. There's one room in particular I have in my head right now that I was streaming and I had to stop and go, I need to take a break for a few minutes. I will be right back. And I just went downstairs and like did a shot. I'm like, okay, this is fine. It's just a game. It's cool. Because it was very long. But for the most part, they're pretty well contained.
Yeah,
So, and it saves at each of those points. So it's just like, okay, I have to stop for right now. I'm turning off the game and I'm just going to pick up right back.
I think I know some of the spots you're talking about where it's like it's like you think you're done, but then you get sort of launched up into another part and you're like, fuck,
Yeah, it's
like
like
I gotta go all the way back if I don't beat
You
this?
expect the screen transition and then it doesn't happen. The exception being the very end sequence. There are actually, it's all one screen, but there are checkpoints along the way. So that one, it's like the final climb, and it's like, cool, here's like your altitude markers essentially, and each one of those markers is a checkpoint.
This is one of those games that make me so happy that there's a robust indie scene because I can't see this coming from a bigger publisher. The story, and just that kind of pixelated style, I think.
I love that style.
I love
think
it too.
It just strikes the right nostalgia chord.
Yep, and they did a great job. And yes, the soundtrack. It all felt like a clear vision of a dedicated team, and that there's no corporate layer on top going, nah, we're not going to talk about depression in this game, or no, we're not going to do this. The sort of sometimes the edges I think get sanded away, but this was such a good game on so many levels.
Yeah. And I appreciate that they owned the fact that like we are talking about like depression and mental health and all this kind of game. That is something that I have struggled with, especially like this year has been like big for that. So like having that game being able to put depression to a fun soundtrack, like somehow like helped me like kind of like be able to put some other things in perspective.
I think there's also something sort of affirming and for me like reassuring just to know that people are going through something similar.
Yes.
You know, if it's something you're going through or even not, but just that people struggle and that's a real thing and you don't have to be like happy all the time. And I liked that about the game a lot.
Very vulnerable. I'm also starting to realize with games like Celeste that there was this nostalgia factor, but now with games that are like heavy in pixel art, it's starting to feel more timeless to me. Like pixel art is starting to move away from having this nostalgia factor now, which I love in games.
Yeah, I think it started as like a retro thing. Like, back when Shovel Knight came out, like, this is an 8-bit game, but now that's just another style of game. Like Dead Cells was out today, great game, pixel art, but they did so many interesting things with it.
The Messenger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. I'm trying to think of some games I like. There was a ton this year. I loved Celeste. I also really loved Spider-Man. Monster Hunter World for me. I just love that game. I never. I'd bought a bunch of Monster Hunter games before that, like going back to the Wii because I heard people talking about it and like, oh, this will suck you in. And I'm like, I want to be sucked into something. But this was the first one that hooked me. Like, okay, I get it. And I know they made some quality of life improvements and streamlined some stuff like the scout flies, making it easier to track things. But it's so grindy and fun. It's just something you can go and you know, you're sort of looking for a specific drop, but once it happens, it's so great. And then
Very rewarding.
Yeah, and then crafting what you want and then going out and doing it all over again. I also like being able to just call in other people to help me. If I'm having trouble, you know, some high-ranking Japanese players will just show up and kick the shit out of whatever was hassling me. So that's fun, the multiplayer. It's just I liked it a lot. And I'd never gotten Monster Hunter, but it is also very gratifying to figure out a monster's patterns and how to overcome it, how to dodge the right way or find their weak point.
Because you learn how to do it.
Yeah.
It's not like your character, their level number got big enough to beat it necessarily.
Right, that's a good point.
You
Yeah,
learn how
it's not because you're 20 levels above and you just whack them.
Yeah.
I remember taking on a new dragon and it feeling absolutely impossible to defeat it. And then once it clicks with you how to beat it, and it gets really easy, like infinitely easier. Very, very rewarding.
And they do a lot of things just through environment and through the monster's actions to let you know if something's working or not. Like there's no hit point bar for the monster, but they might start limping or running away from you, and I really liked that. That felt like as much as realistic as a game like this can get, but you notice some kind of staggering away or something like that, and it just does a really good job of communicating a lot of things non-verbally to you. And it looked great, like on the sort of current gen consoles.
It really benefited from not being tied to Nintendo.
Yeah.
Or a
or
PlayStation
portable,
handheld.
yeah, exactly.
Did you play this on console or PC?
I played it on my base PS4,
Yeah.
and even then it looked really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And it's also just one of those games where you can just zone out. Like Destiny is like this for me too. It's like I can listen to music, I can listen to a podcast or something, and just kind of play this.
Yeah.
So yeah. Who else? Who else has something?
Sea of Thieves along that same vein of thought. I thought that was awesome. That was a neat game because I play so many games like HOTS or Dead by Daylight where I have to be paying attention the entire match. And I loved Sea of Thieves because I could be playing multiplayer with people, but I could step away. I could have something up on the side and watch some Netflix.
I do that too.
All the time. And I need that game where I can just kind of breathe and have fun and shoot the shit with my friends.
I like the downtime in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
I really do, because you're just having to micromanage little things like your sails, your steering and stuff like that. I loved playing that game with friends. I also really liked playing it just kind of by myself.
Yeah.
It was so relaxing.
Very, very relaxing.
It was one of those things where I know it's basically a meme at this point, but I really wish it was on Switch so that I could just play it in bed while I'm, waiting to go to sleep or whatever.
It got criticized at launch for a lack of content.
Deservingly so.
Yeah.
Deservingly so. But
have they fixed that at this point? I mean, is it?
They've added quite a bit. I have not, admittedly, I have not played Sea of Thieves in a little while because other stuff kind of stole my attention.
Right.
There's so much
But
right now.
yeah, there's a lot more that's out right now. They have skeleton ships. There's a Reddit post I saw where somebody jumped back into Sea of Thieves for the first time in a while, and the game decided to hit him with the Megalodon, skeleton ship, and a storm all at once, and he's by himself. No friends.
Oh no!
So, it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
I oftentimes say that some of my favorite games are the kinds where you can walk away with your own unique story to tell
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
after you play, and Sea of Thieves is one of those exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things about it.
a lot of these kind of seem like MMO lights, you know, like
Yeah,
that
it's like it's the illusion of an MMO.
Exactly, but you don't have to pour your entire life into like you do an MMO.
Right.
I like when you see another ship on the horizon and you don't know if it's friend or foe.
That's cool.
So
yeah.
it's you kind of walk in there, you know, ready to fire if you need to, but maybe one of you guys will de-escalate the situation and you'll team up.
Right.
Well, and that's funny because most games, I do not like PvP, especially games where the communities tend to get very, very toxic. I found, like no other game, I relished in PvP. I got so excited to
Oh, really?
And usually I don't do that. But I think because you don't, the worst thing that could happen is you lose some loot and you get a new ship and you can start fresh right over again. So it was very forgiving in that way, but the game did such a good job of making the stakes feel very, very high in the moment, like the seas turning dark when a Kraken shows up and the Megalodon showing up.
Rare
the ghost ships.
Rare did not skimp on making the water look good, and I think that was an excellent decision because this is like just the water looks so
You're around
nice.
water the entire time. Like you got to make
That's
that
the
water look
environment.
spectacular.
Yeah, exactly.
Your water better show up.
Your water better bring it.
Yeah.
Who else? Anybody else got a game?
Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that game came out in January, I think. So it's almost a year old now.
That had that it seems like that kind of revitalized the fighting scene a little bit, or
Sort of. I mean,
people flocked to that game.
Yeah, because who doesn't love Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Like it's I'm gonna feel a little bit hypocritical saying this because I've fallen off of Dragon Ball. Like I haven't played it in a while.
Now that Smash has come along, yeah.
Now that's Smash, but like even then, I got back into Killer Instinct, which is like 5 years old now at this point. But Dragon Ball FighterZ is like a dream game for myself and for a lot of people. It's a Dragon Ball Z fighting game, 2D Dragon Ball Z fighting game that's balanced with like a competitive scene in mind.
And they've had a lot of Dragon Ball fighting games over the years, right? Like there have been a ton, but this
is the first time they were like, you know what, let's take this a little bit seriously. And they got Bandai Namco, but also Arc System Works to work on this game. And
that's what I was going
like
to ask you, like
dream
what's
team.
different? Like what's better about this one?
Well, it runs on the same graphical engine as the newer Guilty Gear games, which is the right choice because even though it's 3D models, it looks and animates like the anime.
Cool.
And it's such a gorgeous game. And it's a lot of fun too. Like it's not for me personally, I found out, just because I don't do the whole 3v3 thing very well. I click more with the 1v1 types of fighting games. But this game is just chaotic, exactly as a Dragon Ball Z game should be.
Absolutely.
And Hit is a lot of fun to play. Like at the time when the game first came out, I had not quite caught up on Dragon Ball Super yet, and that's where Hit is from. But Hit is this purple assassin who can stop time, and he has this trench coat. He's the coolest character in that game for free.
Nice.
He's so much fun. Like he's one of my favorite fighting game characters.
Nice.
So Dragon Ball FighterZ at least gave me that.
All right. One other I wanted to mention, God of War. It got Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Also earlier in the year, I think it came out in April.
Yeah,
but
April.
Man, it was so good. And I was not a huge God of War person. I played the first one way back in the day.
Oh, I didn't care about God of War at all, but this one drew me in.
Yeah, because it was just an action game, before, but this had so much story and the setting it in the sort of this Norse mythology world. The relationship between Kratos and his son, so much fun. And this was another one, a little bit like Celeste, where I think it just succeeded on so many different levels. Like it looked great story. The gameplay was a lot of fun. It's still an action game, but there's, other elements. And then things happen in the game. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't played it, but the beats that it makes in the story are so satisfying and so much fun. It's just a great great game, and I can totally see why it landed on so many Game of the Year lists. It totally deserved it. The abilities he gets, you know, the further he skills up, you just feel like a complete badass.
The takedown moves are spectacular. The animations are incredible.
Yeah. Just a ton of polish and you know, one of those, I went all the way through it, then went through it almost all the way through again in New Game Plus, and like you were saying, like that's how I know I like a game. Like if I'm gonna do this all over again. So, and the Dwarf Brothers who make all your stuff, like that's so fun. I'd never seen, you know, that sort of hate each other.
They brought more comedy to it than I was expecting.
Right, because Kratos is dead serious the entire time. And then
I freaking love Kratos in this game. I love that character.
Also, just being sort of a bearded, grouchy dad, I really identify with. So it just, you know, it felt like he was speaking to me. So thank you. Who else? Anybody else?
I know this is unpopular, but Fallout 76. I clocked a lot of hours.
Wow.
On Fallout 76. I know.
You are the one.
I know. I think they're working away at improving the game. The respec patch just went through. I think on the 12th. I think they also fixed the camp system, so it's easier to put down your camp. I've been waiting so long to go through the waste with my friends, and I've had such a good time. I've spent a lot of time bulking items. The inventory system is incredibly clunky, but when we did actually get out in the waste and start fighting, especially when someone drops a nuke, and you're in the radiation zone and you're taking out those special mobs that come out. There's no greater feeling than taking down one of those giant, I can't even remember what they're called, but one of the giant flying like bat creatures. And then you could take pictures with it and kind of like have a memorial or a picture like to remember with your friends, and that was really, really cool.
That's a nice feature.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot of criticism, obviously. Do you feel like that's justified, or is it overblown, or have they fixed it at this point?
I'm going to give them a lot of leeway because this was a huge undertaking. I think that they are actively improving upon it. I think they're addressing a lot of things. There have been some things peripheral to it in terms of customer service that has really sucked, and I think that's really hurt a lot of people's confidence in Bethesda. But I like what they're trying to do a lot.
I hope it becomes like a No Man's Sky situation where they don't abandon it, they keep improving it, and because the people who bought it deserved it, and that player base deserves it. So that's good. That's gratifying to hear that it's that you like it that much to put it on a list.
Yeah, I have a lot of hope. I have a lot of faith in this one.
Nice. All right. Jen, you got some more?
Probably. I know this is. I know this is kind of a odd one to throw in this. I'm just really glad we got a new Super Mario Party.
Yeah.
I had a ton of fun doing that. I'm really glad I don't have to like go back. We didn't go so old school that I like wear a hole in my palm trying to do the rotatey games. But I've enjoyed a lot of those games. I enjoy a lot of the extra, like being able to do like a team like attack on the board and playing against people. And I actually really like the river cruise thing. This is kind of a fun way to just chug through some silly little mini games. I've just had a lot of fun hanging out with friends doing it. So just from that social aspect, I've really enjoyed having that. Except for this mini game, that one with the snake. No, not that one.
I have played a shitload of Super Mario Party with my kids, and like they love some of these mini games, especially the one where they can team up against me, and like the ones where they're in the robot with the giant
crab,
and I'm trying to run away. They absolutely love it. But yeah, I think Nintendo as a company at heart loves party games. I think that is what they want. Ultimately, they want a bunch of people crowded around playing each other. I think that's where they really shine.
They're the king of the couch co-op.
Absolutely. And they do other things, Breath of the Wild, excellent and all that, but I think what they really love are games like this and sort of, family friendly. There's nothing really objectionable about this. Or you're having a party with friends and playing together.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of fun with this one.
Nice. What else? I'm trying to think of one. Spider-Man was definitely, that got on my list this year too. It's just, not to belabor the point, because I know you all already talked about Spider-Man, but I wasn't comfortable with the web slinging, but I feel like the more I played, the better I got.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because the game was teaching me or I just improved. But now, like, 20 hours in, I feel like just very comfortable as the character. And I feel like that's what you want in a superhero game, to feel like you are, a little bit of you is that superhero, and that's what it pulls off. It's just so much fun.
I got so distracted just traversing the city,
Yeah.
web slinging, and then just taking out people who are mugging people and like car thieves.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I'll break up any crime except for a drug deal, because
Yeah.
I feel like they should be legal. And that's not Spider-Man's business. Don't contribute to the prison industrial complex, Spider-Man. So, other than that, I'll break up any. You got a bomb in the car? Yes, we're gonna break that up. But if you're selling weed in Central Park, it's fine. It's fine. Make your money. What else?
Far Cry 5, I feel like, it surprised me. I think it was, a lot of people forgot about Far Cry 5. Was it spectacular, the story narrative? No, but 2 words, accidental explosions. I had so much fun blowing shit up with my friends. I can't tell you how many times I got into a firefight and a helicopter would come out of the air. Next thing I know, people are shooting at it and it would explode and hit the ground right next to us. And the companions were super neat. I got really distracted. I never finished it. But I went through and had a lot of fun picking up Cheeseburger and who was the other one? Peaches, the mountain lion. I really, really liked the companion feature on this game. So yeah, I don't know why it didn't do better.
I don't know if it fell through. I think it sold pretty well, but I think it may have just gotten overshadowed a little bit this year. I feel like that happened to Spider-Man too. Like I would have expected it to get more, I don't know, a little bit more recognition than what it got.
You don't think Spider-Man got enough?
I don't know. Like I think
feel like it kind of just lit the world on fire.
Yeah, I mean it sold great, but I guess specifically I'm
along.
thinking of like the Game Awards and stuff. Like it didn't really win anything.
Oh, I see.
In terms of like critical, but no, I think I mean, it's sold great. I hope they make another one. I'm sure
they will. They will. It was
I'm
like
sure they
the
will.
best selling or fastest selling, something like that PS4 game.
Yeah.
It outdid God of War in whichever one of those I'm thinking.
And that did really well too.
Week over week, it did really, really well.
I really liked the Pokemon Let's Go games more than I thought I would. It's they look so great. I feel like they set a new standard for how Pokemon games should look, and it needed that because they've been sort of in a rut for a long. They don't make a lot of huge graphical leaps, so it looked good. I didn't mind the catching, the throwing to catch. I don't miss the random battles as much as I thought I did. There are things I would improve, definitely. It was, if you play with another player, it becomes ridiculously easy. The enemies don't scale up at all, so you can just stomp people. But it was just fun. I hope that the new one that's coming out next year, I hope it looks as good, if not better. But I thought it's just fun. I love Pokemon, so I'm always, if there's a new one, I'm gonna play through it. It's just, I love that mechanic of building up your own team and, catching mobs and having them fight for you, so yeah.
Pikachu or Eevee?
Pikachu.
Yeah? I went with Eevee.
Yeah, there you go. You went with the right choice. So.
And Eevee, they can't evolve.
Exactly.
What's the point? What's the point?
It's infinitely more adorable.
Oh, yeah.
They are adorable. All right, who else?
We already talked about every single game I played this year.
Yeah.
All right, we got through.
I did not get through as many as I wanted.
Yeah.
Although I'll just throw this out there so that those of you guys who have played it can talk about it. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
That has not been mentioned once.
Is that on anybody's top?
Watched a lot of gameplay.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
None of us have played it. Wait, did you play it, Brian?
Not like I'm on an early chapter of the game.
Okay.
Like I'm not. Yeah, I need to. That's on my list next to get to. Like,
Same.
It's on my backlog. So like in a month, I will probably have a strong opinion on it. I just haven't had enough time with it.
Red Dead Redemption 2 and this is going to sound really random, but Tetris Effect. I want to get into that.
It
That was
is awesome.
In
Yes.
VR.
I played the demo.
wanna
of it. I don't
play it
have
in
VR, so I didn't
Yeah.
play it in VR.
I
but
really want to.
I really loved what I played. I am a big fan of games where like your actions sync up with music. So
Yes.
like
Yep.
a classic example, Rayman Legends.
Oh, yes.
The music levels in that game. I want a whole game that's just
Like at the,
platforming.
Any level?
at the end of
Yes.
each level,
So
and you would
good.
play through the musical section.
Yes,
and
I
it would
love
yes,
that.
Yes.
To a lesser extent, I mentioned this earlier, but Killer Instinct has dynamic music. So like if you do a big enough combo, it'll go into like the chorus of the song, and it reacts to what's going on in the
That's
match, which is a really, really cool touch.
Yeah.
And Tetris Effect is like nothing but that. It is just like visual and audio stimuli
yeah.
from start to finish.
I played some, I've had some time with it. Yeah, it's just beautiful. And what
Actually-
they did with it, just everything around the game is just amazing. It's like almost like a hallucinatory experience.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, this is going to be completely irrelevant for all of you.
Okay.
But right now, as we're recording this, because we're recording this a week in the past,
No.
I think it's $20 off right now. It's like $20.
Oh, wow.
On sale.
That's a great price.
Excuse me, I need to do something real quick.
I also love Tetris. I like competitive. Like I used to play like online all the time.
Really?
There's
Oh, yeah, I
competitive
love it.
Tetris?
Yeah.
They compete
Rick.
on-
Come on, yeah.
They actually
sorry.
compete on the NES one.
Really?
Yeah.
I got videos I'm going to send you when we leave here.
I could be, but I mean, back in the day on the Game Boy, like you could link them. That was one of the first. I remember, like you had a link cable and you linked them up and went at it.
Actually, okay, after you look up competitive NES Tetris, you need to look up, what is it called? Tetris the Grandmasters?
Yeah, Tetris Grandmasters.
These people are gods.
Shit.
Like, I saw them playing at one of the Games Done Quick marathons.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a-
Their GDQ blocks are insane.
Yeah, they're absolutely nuts. And I saw that, and like, I thought I was decent at Tetris.
Right.
And then I saw that, and then I'll never say that about
As soon
myself
as I
again.
watch someone successfully clear the grid that they couldn't see.
Oh,
Yeah, like in the credit section where it's like the blocks, it's invisible. You can see what the piece is that's coming down, and like that's it.
They just know. From
and they just
memory.
know. And I was, this is inhuman. It's incredible.
Man,
to
the
watch.
mind was not meant to do this.
Yeah.
It's like chess players who can play without seeing the board.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how are you doing this. Is it makes me very uncomfortable. I'm in such awe of what skill is
Cricket,
happening.
like it moves so fast that like there's no animation from it being at the top to it being at the bottom.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
have
You
like a
just hear
split
when it
second.
breaks.
They have a
Yeah.
split second to decide where they're going to put the piece. And so to compensate, they actually instead of what we would probably do is we would leave just like one gap on the side and
Yeah.
try to build up as solid of a wall as we
Yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah.
They build like a pyramid so that when it falls in the middle, they can decide, well, I want it to roll down to the left or to the right.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you can see like some of this how obnoxiously fast some of this is. Like it's here and then it's there. It's just there's no
boom,
movement.
boom.
It's just there,
Yeah.
That's incredible.
and that's
They're able to
obnoxious.
just think. I don't even know how. They're playing on arcade sticks too. Like I actually have that.
Oh, I
arcade
see
stick.
him. Yeah.
I have that
That's like
exact
a
arcade
fighting
stick.
stick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have no idea how they do this.
Amazing.
My,
I get scared when I go to tournaments and I see people show up with their own like custom gamepad.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like
there
the guy
are,
who
like-
brings his own pool cue. To
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bar.
man.
It's like,
That
oh, you're
makes me
good.
nervous.
I have 3 arcade sticks. What does that say?
God, Nick.
You really like fighting games. My number one for me personally, I talk about it all the time, but Dragon Quest XI is so good, and I know it's not big in the West. I want them to keep bringing it here, but this one was just beautiful. And the thing I like about RPGs,
Do you play as Moses? Sorry, I'm looking at this right now.
that's in the post.
There's a baby in a basket.
You do
And now
kind of. You are a bit of a Moses character. That's you
Trunks.
as an
No,
adult.
that's Android 18 actually.
Well, Toriyama did the character.
That's
so,
right. That's
yeah.
right. Oh yeah, you
He
can
did
see
this way
that king was Dr. Giro. I see you. I see you, Toriyama.
Oh, he put some nods in there. I swear to God, like Master Roshi is there. He kind of
way.
uses a model from Master Roshi
gosh.
for like the old man character in the town.
Of course.
It's a game. It's such a JRPG. It's always like you gather a group of party members together, but they all have such distinct personalities, and there's some anime tropes in there, but it's just so much fun. You have like your thief character, you have two sisters who are like your magic users, you have this curmudgeonly old man, you have this badass fighter, you have this other guy, Sylvando, who's just like super cool and like this very sort of outgoing personality, and just having them all together, and there's things you can do. You can set things on like auto attacking. You can sort of give them like, okay, I want you to act this way. Like I want you to just heal. I want you to go all out. I want you to do this. And you can even just sit back and watch them all fight, even your main character. So that's fun with the grinding. And Dragon Quest has this thing where it kind of uses all of the same enemies from previous games, but it'll put like, there are always going to be slimes. There's always going to be like a rock golem. There's always going to be a Drakey that's, I don't know. It's all these nods if you played the games before. But just a great RPG. I really like it. And
how many hours did you clock on it?
Oh God, like over 100.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's also a very weird game because the game ends kind of 2/3 of the way through. Yeah. Like, and the post game is kind of the last third of the game. Like, it's not over when you see credits. Like, you keep going, and it's like there's more story there. And I haven't seen a game do that. And no spoilers, but yeah, you just have to like keep playing through the post game to get like the full story. So that was fun. Yeah. So who else?
I think I'm out.
Yeah.
I think I'm tapped
I spent
out.
a lot of time playing games that were still in my backlog from the previous year, so I think we've pretty much hit everything that was new.
Everything that's 2018.
Everything that was 2018 that I enjoyed playing.
I will give, actually, I'll give a shout out. Yes, Destiny 2 did not come out this year, but I feel like similar to Destiny 1, they've been filling it out better with more content. The Forsaken expansion was really good. I've been playing with friends, so that's fun. But I think Destiny is I know it gets a lot of shit, but Destiny 2's been really good this year.
I actually have a list of a few games that I think some of them you guys missed. In February, the Shadow of the Colossus remake came out.
That was very good.
It was the
I liked
same,
it.
though, right?
March,
It was just a remake.
Yeah, March.
That would open up
that was nice.
Spyro.
That was
Did Crash come out this year or last?
Yeah, so March, A Way Out and Ni no Kuni 2 came out. In May, State of Decay 2. In June, the Crash Bandicoot remaster and the Awesome Adventure of Captain Spirit. In July, Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
In August, Overcooked 2 and The Messenger. September, we had Destiny 2 Forsaken and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the final in the Tomb Raider series. We had in October, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Black Ops 4, Soul Calibur 6, and in November, Hitman 2 and the Spyro Reignited trilogy.
Crazy.
You know what we didn't talk about that I think is amazing, and we're going to hear a lot about in the coming weeks? Gris.
Yeah.
That was
I cannot
fantastic.
wait to play
What
that.
kind of game? What kind of game is it?
It's a 2D side scroller, and everyone keeps saying this, but it is a true. It feels like a spiritual successor to Journey, which is one of my favorite games.
Yeah. Great.
It's beautiful. It's tender. It's wholesome. As you've got all this beautiful wispy little dress. It looks like a watercolor. It's like high art. It's one of those things that helps. I don't know, bring attention to the fact that video game making is a form of art. And as you go through the game, you get to unlock additional colors. So it gets more colorful as you go, which is fantastic.
I can kind of see the Journey reference a little bit.
Is it PC only right now, or?
Gosh, no, I think it's already on. I think it's already on Switch.
Yeah, I want to say I saw them celebrating the Switch release specifically. So
yeah.
It is beautiful. My understanding of kind of the story of it sounds like when I made my comment earlier that I feel like I'm going to enjoy this for the same reason I enjoyed Celeste.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think there's even just like the trailer they were releasing ahead of it dropping this week was just incredible. Even the music in that was beautiful, and I
want to play it now.
Yes, you should.
You sold me.
It came out 6 days ago on PC and Switch.
Okay.
There we go.
Nice. Cricket, you got any more?
The only other one that, and I feel like I have to say this, I clocked 1,000 hours on Dead by Daylight this year. 1,000 hours.
Just this year.
I've been playing it now for I think 2.5 years.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of fucking hours, guys. It's a lot of days of my life spent playing that video game. But they've done a good job of, I think, continuously rolling out new content for it, new killers, new survivors. And that's really hard to do on an asymmetrical horror game because there's so many variables at this point. It's very, very difficult to balance a game for that long. But
you put in one thing, you got to fix a million.
Absolutely, and you can't. You know, when you go into a lobby, it's blind. You don't know what that killer has. So kudos to them. I think the team has done a good job of continuously giving people something to look forward to and to come back to.
Nice.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight.
Awesome. Ben, you got any games you want to shout out?
Oh man, I think you guys have touched just about everything. My top 5 was God of War, Celeste, Destiny 2's Forsaken, Smash Ultimate, and Beat Saber. I don't know if you guys touched on Beat Saber at all. It's a VR game. You are basically a Jedi with 2 lightsabers.
Oh,
you are slashing blocks left and right as to the beat, and it's just done really, really well. It's amazing.
I love rhythm games, so I greatly enjoyed being able to try Beat Saber. It was a lot of fun. I could spend hours at Ben's house just being like, I'm gonna play VR now. See ya.
Is it as good as Elite Beat Agents? Because that will always be my #1 rhythm game.
I mean, it doesn't have a story, but I would put it up there with Elite Beat Agents.
All right.
It's really good.
It's got really good music.
That's awesome. All right, well, those are our games of the year. Let us know what yours are down, down in the comments below. I read the comments, I pay attention. And stick around after this for New Game Plus. That is our exclusive post show for Rooster Teeth First members. So we will see you there.